We will call this meeting to order. Regular city council meeting, city of Dalhart. Today is March 11th, 2024. Time is 6 p.m. Y'all would please follow me in prayer. Lord, I ask that you lift us up tonight, Lord, that you be with us, that you help us, Lord, to make the right decisions and, just help us to do what's best for the city, Lord. I pray that you continue to be for the first responders, Lord, battling the fires. I pray that you lift them up and lift up the people who've lost their homes, their cattle. Lord, I pray that you just bless them with abundance of whatever it is they need, Lord, to move forward. Lord, I ask these things in your name, in the name of Jesus. Amen. Please stand with me as we do the Pledge of Allegiance in Texas American flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Holy Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 1, public comments. Got anything, Christie? Item number 2, recognition of City Dalhart employee years of service, Brandon Armstrong and Louis Labra. Brandon, come on up, or Louis, either one's fine.
You're gonna go up there.
Okay.
This on the behalf of the city of Dalhart, it's my privilege to present to you this plaque for 3 years of service to our city.
Okay.
I appreciate your commitment to Dalhart. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you, Brandon. Your shoulder or arm? Or-
Ended up on the wrong end of the dog pile.
On duty?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's my honor to present to you this plaque for 8 years of service to the city of Dalhart. Appreciate your sacrifice. Item number 3, discuss and or act upon appointing an election judge for the general election on May 4th, 2024.
So it's been confirmed that Celine Schumacher is willing to be the judge for election. She's done it the past couple years. So if that's approved by the board, then she would be our official election judge.
A motion to approve Selena Schumacher.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 4, discuss and or act upon the approval of the election judge and election workers' pay rates for May 4th, 2024.
So the recommended hourly rate would be $25 an hour for the election judge, and for the election clerks would be $13.50 an hour.
Has it gone up since last year?
The election judge last year was 25, and so was the clerk, so it hasn't been. And-
Up last year though.
I think it did. Talking to other city secretaries, this is pretty common.
But move to adopt those rates for this year. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5, discuss and or act upon appointing an early voting clerk and deputy voting clerk for the May 4th, 2024 general election.
The early voting clerk recommendation would be me. And the deputy would be Wendy. Of course, she was the clerk last year. I'm not sure who the deputy was, but she is guiding me in a lot of this stuff.
Make a motion that we adopt both of them as early voting clerk and early deputy voting clerk. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6, discuss and or act upon appointing an early voting ballot board for the May 4th, 2024 general election.
So you have to have at least 3 people on the early voting ballot board. And so we have a recommendation, I have a recommendation just to do the 3, which would be Celine Schumacher, Wendy Claynons, and myself.
Make a motion, we accept the 3 for the early voting ballot board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Christie.
Mhm.
Number 7, staff update on City of Dalhart Parks Assessment Project. Garrett?
Evening. So, basically start out with, we're gonna talk about the North Side Park. I did this assessment a few weeks back. Kind of gonna give you guys an update of what was the top voted item, certain quotes that I was able to find in survey results and concerns from the community. So, the most voted item on this was the tetherball. The second most voted was the bike stand and bike stations, and the third was somersault bar. That one we had a decent survey turnout. We had 8 surveys that came. Most commented was concern for a splash pad. I looked up quotes, did some estimations for a splash pad. I'll get into that in the next slide. I did a pricing for the quotes on the right-hand side. The equipment for the tetherball would be about $100. The bike stand, $150, bike repair station, $750. And if we wanted to add somersault bars over there too, $300, accumulated up to $1,300 for that park. Any of those can be taken out and put in, just depending on what budget allows and what the council would want to do. So this is the water feature. This item was the most voted item at the North Side Park. However, the park does not accommodate the space needed. You're gonna need about close to 400 square feet for a decent little splash pad. Depending on the size of the splash pad, Kella Hill could possibly accommodate. For a splash pad, just get some water features over on that side of town, since the swimming pool park is on the complete opposite side of town. Estimation for that about 4,000 to 12,000, just kind of depending on where you want to find that at. So for the Kella Hill, the most voted item will be stadium lights over at the baseball field across the street. Second most would be the dirt, chalk, the fields for baseball. Third would be new basketball goals, and fourth would be the bike stand and repair stations. The survey, we fell kind of short with this one. Only 4 surveys came out. But the top comment was wanting soccer fields over on the baseball field. So that'd be something to kind of go more into detail with later on. Once we kind of get a few more things set in place with Kella Hill. Estimation for the stadium lights would be about 1,200 to 4,000. Bike stand will be 150, repair station 750. Basketball goals will be about 500. So for a total in between 26 to 5,400, depending on how we want to cut that up. Seventh Street was our most attended event. Kind of assumed that one was going to be one of the bigger ones coming into it. We partnered up with the library for that one. So the most voted item for that would be a mini library. We have a couple of them around town. The closest one will be over here by the senior center. Second most voted item would be a storybook walk. Third, rubber mulch being replaced with the wood mulch that we have there already. Fourth would be tetherball. And we had 15 surveys, so this one blew all the other ones out of the water, so to speak. Top comment, more programs, educational programs, library involvement, and movie nights in the park. For the equipment, the mini library, about $100 to $300. Bike stand $150 and the bike repair station be $750. Storybook walk would be about 300, rubber mulch around 1,000, and tetherball would be 100 again. So I made a separate slide for the bike stand and repair station because this has been at all the parks and we are wanting to put them at all the parks. We got some pretty positive feedback. I haven't heard any concerns from anybody at any of the parks, and I've spoken to a lot of people on the streets about it as well. Making accommodations for the bikes would make it more likely people are going to their bikes around town. So if we want to put one of each at all the parks, it'd be 5 stands and 5 repair stations. The bike stands would be close to $200 each for a bundle quote, and the bike repair stations would be $750 to $1,100 in a bundle. Any questions regarding all that?
What exactly is a bike stand? What is that? Or the bike repair station? What does that consist of?
So it's basically a metal stand where you can put your bike up on, and it has tools that are chained to it. That way you can do any kind of necessary adjustments on your bike, fix your chain, the alignment, all that such.
Not gonna have like a compressor with it or anything like that.
Some of them do. That's why I put the $1,100 option on there, because some of them do come with some of the higher end things. But I've seen cities really just get by with the $750 option where it comes with just the tools in the stand.
You secure it to the ground. Is it bolted down in
The stand,
the stand? Yes.
you can either bolt it down or you can concrete it in.
You know any other cities that have those?
The city I came from, Russellville, Arkansas, we were a college town over there. About 20,000 people live there. We had the bike stands at all the state parks and national parks around. They were used very heavily. I used to work at a state park too, and I'd have to do maintenance work on it pretty often because of just how often people would end up using them. So they are definitely used, and it might be a slow process at first once you install them. Once word kind of gets out that they're going to be around, a lot more people are going to end up using the bikes.
Like there might be a big need for one of those down in the canyon trails as well.
Yes, yep, definitely.
Any other questions for Garrett? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your work on that.
Good job.
Item number 8, staff update on records retention project.
So I had discussed this with you, I think several meetings back, and RCI, which is the records management company that came to assess the basement and look at what we had. Their quote was a round estimate of 150 boxes. I took pictures, they came. We ended up with 197 boxes, with 150 of those marked for destruction, which means they've been there a long time. So now we have 150 boxes that need destroyed, and we're looking at the most cost-effective way to get rid of those. As he was down there, we only had 74 boxes that were marked for retention. They are now organized by year, so they're on one metal shelf, and it's just real easy to rotate them. The last year will come off. We'll put another year on. However, we still have 150 boxes left that need to be gone through. We also have 300 construction plans. What are they called here? Blueprints. I couldn't find the word. Thank you. 300 blueprints and about 30 ledgers that need to be gone through. So pretty extensive.
Like you got your work cut out for you.
I do. We did, however, I just want to make a point that on our original quote, it was for 150 boxes, and we had to make a decision whether to finish the 197 or have them come back. Corbin was there that day. We took him to the basement, and we just made a decision with Corbin and to go ahead and finish that 197. So it was over what we had originally budgeted, but it was a significant need. So
Questions for Christie?
I'll
Thank
make
you.
a comment.
Yes, sir.
Not for any city that I've been to. Retention is one of those things that people forget about or don't want to do because it's not a real nice job to do.
Right.
We talked a little bit about today and we may have some options that, you know, one was for us to line them all up with our
Our own shredders.
shredders. We don't, our shredders are not strong enough to go do that. We'll run through those crazy, so. Christie is now, looking around to see if we can bring a truck in. I don't know if you've seen those trucks before, but they.
Yes. Yeah.
And do it right. And what that means, we have to do a little bit of prep of taking all the staples out, the clips and those type of things across the board. So we'll come back with you. Now we're doing more investigation and we probably try to get next month to have a decision to go and execute what we need to do.
Those 150 boxes to be destroyed, is that stuff been retained somewhere or recorded or?
So they've all been in the basement. So the Texas Library, I don't have the exact name of it, but they provide the retention schedules. So, like board minutes and all that, we have to keep them for a lifetime. But there's lots of documents that we don't have to keep for a lifetime. And so I think what has happened is that departments have just taken their boxes to the basement, not knowing what the retention schedule is. And so they've just accumulated there. One thing I will say is they were all in very good condition bank boxes. So none of it had to be reboxed or any of that. And 99% of them were labeled. So that was a blessing.
Anything else on retention? Item number 9, discuss and or act upon City of Dalhart summer hours.
So coming this a little bit early just to kind of, because we've had a change, Ken being here and we may have a change again in city management. That way it didn't get fallen off. But the plan still is to have to go to summer hours for admin staff and public works staff. Those would start the day after Memorial Day. So the Tuesday, Memorial Day is on a Monday. So we'll have the long weekend, start that next Tuesday and go all the way until school starts back up for the kids. Those hours are 7 to 7:30 to 3:30, Monday through Friday for public works. And then 7:30 to 5:30, Monday through Thursday, and then 8 to noon on Fridays for admin staff. And that's what we did last year as well.
That seemed to work out.
So I think the public enjoyed, of course, Public Works enjoys getting off before the heat of the day gets there. And I think I think we had positive feedback from community members being open 30 minutes before and after work hours, Monday through Thursday, kind of gave them some better time to come pay their water bills and stuff versus having to take a lunch and do it or something like that.
If you have any complaints at all.
Not once, like the first 2 or 3 weeks we did on Fridays until people finally realized what our schedule were. And then people were walking in at 5:45 most nights trying to get in. So I think they prefer the later hours than anything else.
You still can pay the bills through the front box.
Through the kiosk, through online, through the automated phone service. And there's lots of ways to do it. More than just coming in. So
Make a motion, we approve the City of Dalhart summer hours.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 10, discuss and or act upon the committee recommendations for the City of Dalhart legal counsel. We had a committee put together on this. I think it was you, Ty and Ginger, and who was the third one?
That was the 3 of us. It was
Yeah.
Ginger, myself and Dwayne.
Okay. What, tell us about it.
Well, they conducted the meeting. We had 2 applications for the position.
One of them did not fill out the proper paperwork. So we came to the recommendation of Underwood, if I may use the name. And looking at the capabilities and the services offered that would fulfill the needs of Dalhart at this time, we just recommended that we go with that Underwoods.
Are they, they're out of Pampa, is that correct?
They have we have an assigned officer.
Okay.
And he is in Tampa.
Okay.
But they have sourced to, I believe, 140 throughout the state that they draw upon. We have used this firm in another area, and they did out to reach all of their members to help correlate and compile the information that we all needed. So, and that is my understanding that the agent in Pampa would be here and open hours and be in contact with us.
When you say be here, does that mean will they be at meetings or just?
One intent, if I believe correctly, that they would attend the city council meetings. And they would also attend on with the other committees if necessary. They had a rate which was economically advantageous to the city on the charges. And it just across the board that fell into a good plan. And our consideration was to assign them to our city attorney.
This might be a stupid question, but will that attorney also serve EDC and everything else? If it's.
EDC has their own attorney, but in some applications, yes, they could comply.
The attorney is also Underwood Law, but we use John Atkins, who's a EDC attorney. He handles economic development for the Panhandle, but he's out of Amarillo. But it's under the same umbrella as Underwood Law.
And that was the consideration when we was looking at the services they could fulfill. And one of the priorities of it is they're in tune with multiple, but one of the major thing of it is finding an attorney that knows well-versed in municipal law. They also have real estate law. They also have the several different, it's in the packet there of several things that we need to utilize, real estate and such things like that.
Would the board consider our previous city attorney if?
We did not have a previous city attorney that applied for the position.
Where was it? Where was the notice put out? I mean,
It was
Through
on,
RFQ, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was in the paper.
And on the website.
Website, Facebook.
so. If he were interested, since we have no choice but the one that filled it out, would y'all be interested in going through it again and see if we have more applicants?
that would be the decision of the council. So what we have the president here is to accept or deny their taking the position. And so if it's denied, then we'd have to go through the process again. And that would and that would keep us with, and I cannot cite the name, but our president interim council.
Post. I'll be honest, like Gary, I've also heard several local lawyers are interested now. And maybe even regional. So I don't know if we want to open it back up or not. I mean,
My biggest
that's
concern
just
is,
something we're hearing.
do the local attorneys, how much municipal experience do they have?
Right.
That's really what we need as a city.
Right.
And I don't know that answer, and you guys may be able to answer that.
I did mention it to one of the locals that also houses in Amarillo, and they had an opportunity and they didn't seek it.
I will say that I am in contact with them daily over records requests, or, I mean, it's something almost constantly. And so, you know, like they need that
Yes.
mentality.
Another concern I have is we form these committees to do this research, and and make these decisions. And we leave it up to these guys to do what what they've volunteered to do. So
I made the checklist for them and they had 12 points that they had to
Mhm.
check off.
Yep.
So it was pretty intense, I think, that you had to,
Yeah, they provided us a lot of information.
right?
They really did.
So I would like to entertain a motion to approve agreement with Underwood as the city Dalhart legal counsel.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh,
All right, item number,
So on that, I don't know but we have to establish a beginning and an ending date.
okay.
Do like a trial period
No,
or what?
you have to,
You have to at least do a beginning date. Because you have to have a transition. You can't say they're gonna start tomorrow, because that will not do well for covering the city, so.
What's standard, 2 weeks or,
Probably,
It'd probably gonna be 30 to 60 days,
okay,
because you have to go transfer whatever they're doing now over to get them up to speed and any documentation.
So we just put date of May 1st on there?
Yeah, I think that's a good date. Anything, I'm not sure you.
I meant for them, like, for please,
quiz.
Okay, so she's talking about,
for them to be,
we recognize, we notified the current attorney company as soon as possible. And also get the new attorney saying starting May 1st, and then
Right.
they need to work with the transition period on making that happen. And if they can't, then they need to come back and tell us that.
Well, then if you need I make a motion that we do effective May 1st, 2024.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Does that cover it? Item number 11, discuss and or act upon the furniture purchase for the emergency response center.
So we had two bids, well, kind of two, we sought after two bids on this. We went through local SBC, through several tried attempts. Sat down with them a lot. Fire chief, PD, sat down with them a lot. They never really got a bid back to us. They gave us a price on some filing cabinets and that was about it. We did a lot more than just filing cabinets. So reached out, Park Hill, who's doing all the engineering on this, uses Office Wise at Amarillo for a lot of their projects. Amarillo College uses on a lot of huge projects, use these guys. So with that, they gave us a bid of $159,534.06. That is a government rate, so that cuts it in half. If we were Amazon, they would have paid double that for this, but because we get government funding, that's that. Mario is working on some grants to help with this through both sets of railroads, UP and BNSF. So if we should get either one or both of those grants, that would help take off some of this price. This is budgeted. So when we budgeted the technology for the ERC, data came in under what we budgeted. So there's enough money to pay for this out of that budget line item. So having to go to the general fund or anything. So
I make a motion that we accept the presentation for the emergency response center furniture purchase.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Corbin. We will now go into executive session under Texas Local Government Code 551.074 for discussing personnel matters, city manager selection process. Time is 6:29. The City Council will now reconvene from executive session in the Texas Local Government Code 551.074 for discussing personnel matters. City manager selection process. The time is 7:07 PM. Item number 13, discuss and or take action on the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, city manager selection process. Not going to take any action on this tonight, so just was a discussion item. I did, I don't remember what it was.
Okay, so.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Thank you all very much.